Guys, welcome to this interview with the man himself. I don't know if you can see his name. You'll see his name when he speaks. I won't spoil that and reveal his name just yet. But this fine man, Mr. Fergus McKinnon, a.k.a. what came out of the Alpha Reset, the big teddy bear, as you can see there. So guys, this is Ferg's been back now from the Alpha Reset for 10 days. Is that right?
Yeah, 10 days spot on, yeah.
Yeah, so, often people can watch videos of somebody after an event. It's kind of like, well, yeah, it's all great, good and well, you feeling like this at the end of an event and having these epiphanies, but how long will it last? What happens when you get home? So, obviously, you and I had a conversation, and you shared with me some of the things that had gone on with Hannah and, just how you've been navigating things. And I was blown away by it. Like, Ferg, please, can we share this with the guys? So here we are. So how has life, life and relationships been since arriving back?
Life and relationships overall have been very, very good. It's not kind of plain sailing. It's not something that I guess comes naturally. I've kind of learned to change my thinking and my approach to everything. Obviously, relationships being at the core of it. But it's been very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Cliffhanger.
Well, I think the night that I got back, I'll give you an example. The night I got back from the Alpha Reset, I was thoroughly I was excited. I hadn't had my phone for a week. I couldn't wait to see my kids. I'd missed them, as you can expect, and I'd really missed my wife, which was a relief. So I arrived home, and my kind of expectations were that my wife would feel exactly like I did. She'd run out, jump into my arms, the red carpet would be rolled out, and it just wasn't the case.
That didn't happen?
I was gobsmacked. It didn't happen. What the hell's going on? So I turned up, and I got over that pretty quick. Okay, so I guess what we'd been learning started to kick in. I'd absorbed a hell of a lot more than I maybe thought I had, because there's a hell of a lot of content. There's a lot going on in a very short period of time. But it had been dripping into my head, and we sat at the table. My phone wasn't anywhere in sight for a start, and I intentionally did that. And my wife sat opposite me. Luckily, my mum was here, bathing the kids, looking after the kids. So that was a massive, massive help. And she was upstairs with them, gave me and Hannah some space. And Hannah was talking to me, and she was talking in a very serious tone. She was saying things that actually I didn't really want to hear. After the first night, I kind of got used to you not being here, and I liked having the space away from you. I got to watch what I wanted on telly. I ate what I wanted. She said the kids' routine was better. In the morning, it was more regimental. The kids were up on time and breakfast and at school early, which hurt actually, because I do a lot of the pickup and drop-offs. And I feel I do a good job with that. So hearing all this wasn't good for me. I didn't like it. But what I did was I sat back and I closed my mouth and I opened my ears, and it was uncomfortable. I know that Hannah was opening up to me. Again, I recognized the fact she was opening up to me, which is a rarity. She didn't do that very easily. And she's had space on her own to think, which is healthy. And she was opening up. So I listened and took it on board. But one thing that she said, which really made me laugh, it was funny and very interesting, was she said to me, "Are you listening to me?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm listening." She said, "Well, you're not saying anything." I said, I'm just listening. I'm sitting and I'm listening. Yeah, so I guess I was being prodded and poked a bit, wasn't I? Tested. And I said, "I'm just listening." And she said, "Well, why are you looking at me like that?" I said, "I'm just looking, I'm just listening."
And how would it have been before?
Oh, man, I would have been my mouth would have been open, bum, 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 bum. I'd have been justifying, rationalizing, saying, oh, why you feel like this, why you feel like that. I do this, I do that, I do the drop off, it works. Just, you know, I'd have been all over it.
And she just shrivels up, right? She just shrivels up before.
Oh,
when
she would have just closed up.
Yeah, she closes down. Yeah.
And she looked and she said, why can't you just listen like normal people? And I thought that was brilliant. You know, she's just not used to it. And she's just not used to me. Yeah, she's just not. And
normal people.
Normal people. So I just sat at the table and I listened and I took it all on board. And I respected her for it. And there was just acceptance around what I was hearing. And not having my phone with me all week, you know, I think gives you the better ability to listen, maybe. I don't know. There's a whole combination of things, wasn't there, really? So yeah, that was the initiate. That was my first kind of experience back in the real world with real people, if you like, you know, the general population. And
what then transpired from there? What have been the big wins with Hannah since then?
Yeah, so it was a little bit turbulent, okay, for the first few days, certainly. I was trying to put into practice certain things, and I was kind of falling over a little bit. Maybe I was trying a little bit too hard. It was almost like I just learned something new, a new skill, and I was playing with it, and I was cocking it up a little bit, you know? It was, so on the Sunday night, we were having a bit of a heart-to-heart. And what I find is, I still find it difficult to get intimate and drop my guard and get vulnerable with Hannah. So I was trying to put into practice, and you know what? All I wanted was just a hug, you know, just her to put her arms around me, tell me she loved me, and reciprocate that back. That's really all I wanted. But it came out as a whole host of different things to begin with, to the point where we're nearly bickering. We started sort of bickering and sort of arguing a little bit. And I just said to her, look, I was that uncomfortable with the conversation. I just came out with it. I just said, look, I kind of feel like over the however long, you know, quite a decent period of time, that I just feel quite isolated. I feel quite lonely in our relationship. I just feel like you're quite a hard woman, okay? But I take on board the fact I've had quite a lot to do with the creation of that. I get it, but you know, I try my best, and this is how I feel. And it turned out she heard me say that, and that really upset her. Really upset to the point she was in tears. And that wasn't what I was looking. I wasn't looking to upset her, but I was just being honest. But it hit her really hard. That honesty, me being honest, despite it feeling really uncomfortable, actually led to Hannah fully dropping her guard down as well. And it had a very interesting effect. You know, she walked around the kitchen table where I'm actually sat exact spot here, and she gave me a big hug, and she said, "I've got you." And do you know what? The hug that I I felt like I hadn't felt in years. I mean, literally years. Had a real genuine connection with her. And it was just it lasted for 30 seconds to a minute. And it was a very, very special minute. You know, it was just a huge thing. Huge thing.
Wow.
You know, since that point, you know, she now knows. We have a little bit of a laugh with it. And, you know, I was just lying on the bed. The kids were in the bath. There was nothing, you know, it was just me just chilling in the evening, lying in the bed. Kids were just getting in the bath. And Hannah was doing what she does, whatever that is. And she walked around, she jumped on me playfully. And we just it was just playful. And we wouldn't have done that before. We had a bit of a laugh. And it was good. It was fun. It was good fun.
Wow. And what I'm hearing you say, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, what I'm hearing you say is this has come as a result of you dropping your guard and being able to listen to her. So then she feels, obviously, I understand he's listening to me.
Yeah.
And you've been honest. You've dropped your guard. That then lets her in.
Yeah.
Connect.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly exactly it. So sort of on the other side of getting uncomfortable and getting vulnerable, which is really uncomfortable for me, leave myself exposed, if you like. You know, there seems to be big progress. It's huge. But before the Alpha Reset, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that.
What do you think you would have done before the Alpha Reset in that situation?
Would have been colliding. I'd have been sort of colliding with her, you know, my words against hers, me talking over her, Hannah talking over me, and just being just fuck it, you know, just walking away from it then, and just having a bad vibe, you know, for the rest of the evening. It would have, it just wouldn't have been a positive thing.
And how are things right now?
Things are great in a minute. Things are really good. You know, they're quite full on in the run up to Christmas. The diary's quite full, very, you know, busy. And, you know, she'll come in and she'll talk and I'll listen more. I mean, I'm not perfect. Okay. I still have to catch myself.
Yeah.
Doing the talking thing, you know, I still have to just button it and sit down and listen. And it's been great. There's been a few moments. I'm sat at the kitchen table now, and and on the Friday night we sat at the kitchen table and we had dinner. And as I was eating, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sat at the kitchen table. I've got my phone here, and I'm feeling really, really relaxed." And that was amazing. That was a big deal because it's something that I've missed doing. Years ago, we used to do that. We used to sit at the kitchen table and eat food. But
who, you and the kids, or you and Hannah?
Just me and Hannah, because the kids were too young at that point. But Hannah and I used to do that. And as a kid growing up, it's something I used to do as well. You know, sit at the kitchen table and have a meal. But over the last 3 or 4 years, it's got sit in front of the TV, or I'll stand in the kitchen, it's cooking, it's on a plate, and I'll stand and eat it there, and the kids are eating at the table, and Hannah doesn't even eat, you know, because she's not hungry or doesn't want to eat what we're having, you know. So we had dinner at the kitchen table, and we've done that a few times since. I think we did it Friday night again. We did do it Friday night. Hannah cooked. We've done it at least twice this week, which, you know, is huge for us. You know, it's massive. I'm actually really comfortable sitting at the kitchen table, and I can listen to people and just feel relaxed. And that sounds like a small thing, but it's actually quite a big thing for me.
Huge.
You know, so that's one of quite a few things. With my relationship with Hannah, you know, I've kind of learned that as a kid growing up, because of my parents' relationship, it was quite cold towards the end of their relationship. I remember sitting in the kitchen table, my dad at one end, my mum at the other, both smoking, and just thinking, how bloody depressing is this? And that is a genuine feeling that comes up when I think of it. Is, yeah, how depressing is this? It was cold. There was no affection shown. It was grim. You know, it was really sad and depressing. And it got to the point that I kind of feel that maybe that was my image of marriage. You know, how is a marriage going to last for a lifetime? It's impossible. How's that actually happen? And how, you know, a relationship marriage isn't that fun, is it? You know, it's pretty grim. It's pretty grey. You have flash in the pan moments, but that's it. It's just a bit of a chore. And that's terrible because, you know, I've been married. It's my 8-year anniversary in December. And I just think that my view on marriage is now that I've changed my perspective. I can see marriage isn't like that. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be fun. It's an adventure. You're a partnership. You know, you're as one. You know, yes, life is challenging. You know, you still get bills on the table that need to be paid. You're tired. You're busy at times. You know, you can't. You neglect each other like you'd neglect a business, and things slow down and it doesn't tend to work. But if you pay each other attention respectfully and listen, and you know, it kind of grows. It gives it that what it needs to grow. So I've changed my view on marriage. Has actually completely changed. Whether or not I knew it before I came to the Alpha Reset, which I didn't, I wasn't quite aware of these feelings and thoughts, but it's opened my eyes to it. So that's massive. One of the things that's quite interesting for me is I train quite a bit, and the workouts I do are always really brutal, to be quite honest. They're just horrible. They're horrible. The intensity.
Punish yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the amount of times that I drive to the gym historically, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a tough workout, and I'm thinking about school, about when I was overweight, and the kid, I once announced to everybody in the school tuck shop that I was going to get a six-pack by the summer. And everybody, the whole bloody place went silent, and everyone turned around and just laughed at me. And do you know what? I probably asked for it, but they were laughing, and I was renamed Party Pack at that point, which is funny, but it was quite hurtful, and it actually stuck with me. And I was a bit overweight. I was overweight as a kid, isn't it? Flabber labber and Party Pack, and people used to take the piss a lot. And that, believe it or not, as bonkers as it sounds, has absolutely fueled me with my training. And it's quite interesting how in my workouts I've been punishing myself.
I'll show you.
I'll show you. I'll fucking show you. You know, where are you now? I look at me. I'm training. This. You know, it's all about showing other people and punishing myself. Like the pain you go through in the workouts is horrible. But I've been like, kind of like, you fucking deserve this. Sorry, excuse my language, but you deserve this. What's the matter with you? You can't do it. You know, berate myself if I can't do something. And since the Alpha Reset, I go into the gym, and I'm having a workout. I'm not giving myself a hard time when I don't do something that I would push myself and probably unrealistically. So I can't walk on my hands. Okay, well, that's not a big deal. That's okay. You can practice. Do something different. You know, do some progressions. Give yourself time. Enjoy it. You know, I was doing a workout with running in, and I was running, and I was thinking about, this is great for my body. This is good for my mind. And it lightened me. I felt better, rather than, come on, Ferg, you show them you can do it. It's a complete 360 in how I think about it. I looked at the board, looked at everybody's results a couple of times, but that was just because I was curious. You know, it wasn't because, where am I sitting? Where am I ranked? Oh God, that guy's just absolutely nailed it. And look at me. Come on, you know, you should be doing better than that. It just hasn't been like that. It's been really interesting, actually. Doing it for my love myself.
I love it. And that's how people get burnt out, though, right? Because you have this tendency to be driven by pain, and then it causes you to then rally the troops and have this big surge of energy.
Yep.
Try and hit the workout, but it's never enough, is it? It's never ending. So you got to keep going and going and going and going and going and going. But you can't sustain that intensity for long enough. You either burn out, or you have to pull resources from Hannah and the kids, or other areas of your life, just to sustain this one pain-driven goal. Yeah,
exactly.
It just doesn't work. Not for the long term, anyway.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the amount of times I've been at home, I've been absolutely just dying from working out, and it just, you know, everybody gets DOMS, and you know, your muscle soreness, and that's not a bad thing. But it's when you're absolutely central nervous system shot, and you may be ill because you've just been pushing it every day and working out at ridiculous intensities. You're punishing yourself. You know, weighing and measuring food, and doing it for the wrong reasons. You know, like weighing and measuring food because I think my body image, you know, my body's not good enough. You know, so I need to cut down on this. I need to restrict my calorie intake, and you know, it's just, there's nothing wrong with doing having a diet, or me fasting, or you know, doing a certain style of eating, but I kind of was doing it for the wrong reasons.
That's the biggie, isn't it?
Yeah.
The motive behind it. That's the big.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to wrap up with here? Any guy that may be watching this, considering applying for the program? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, funny. I mean, when I was first speaking to you, Tim, about coming to the program, I knew there was going to be elements of this process that would improve me. Okay. Yeah, clearly it's a benefit investing in yourself. It's not going to do you any harm, is it? So I think that's the first thing. You're only going to get better as a person, as a brother, father, son, whatever, a business partner. You're only going to improve yourself by doing something like this. And the powerful man is what we're talking about here. So you're only going to improve where you're currently at. What I would say is just keep a very open mind and that trust in the process, because it's changed me, or suddenly opened my mind up to such a degree that it's ultimately going to improve and change my life and those lives of the people around me as well. And it is a platform. I do feel like it's a start of a new journey for me. So keep an open mind and take that leap of faith. I think I've said that before. Just take the leap of faith.
I love it. Maybe now you guys watching got a good example of why with his name on here is the big teddy bear. What Ferg came to realize behind the tough exterior that he came into the Alpha Reset with, in reality, he was just overflowing with an abundance of love that he wanted to give to his wife and his kids and himself and his life. He didn't need to have to fight as much as he was. So, Ferg, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, an absolute credit. You really are. So, guys, if you want to find out more, then head over to thealphareset.com. And if you like what you see there, then enter your details, and who knows, maybe we'll be working with you soon. So, Ferg, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And until next time, have a great day, my friend.
Good stuff. Thanks, Tim.